Old paint. Piles of old paint. What is this and why am I hoarding it? This one's gone bad. This one's gone very bad. Mayo teal. Oh, this was such a nice color. Do you see that? Do you see how nice that color is? Look, it's such a great color, teal. Mayo teal, CW570. Great color, great color. And what do we have here? We have an adjusted formula. That's not helpful. We actually don't know what this specific color is anymore. Good thing that that project's done. It's understandably common why we want to hold on to our old paint. I mean, we might need it for a touch-up on our wall or to use on a future project at some point. However, paint doesn't last forever, and I really hate to break it to you, but if you painted your walls several years ago, chances are that the color's not going to match anymore, because over time, the color on our walls actually shifts and fades a little bit just due to environmental conditions and aging. It's a totally normal thing that happens. While paint can have a really long shelf life before it's ever been opened, once we open it and we start to use it, and depending on how we store it, it can actually go bad more quickly and more easily. For example, if you're taking it and storing it in a location that has extreme temperature variations like a shed or an attic or possibly even your garage, if there's a really big temperature swing, it can actually go bad really easily because it can separate or just dry out and harden, and then it's no good at all anymore. Paint needs to be stored in a cool, dark place, like your basement or even just a regular closet. I like to actually neaten up my paint stash and reduce its storage footprint by transferring it from a can like this, once it's been opened, into a container like this, or a glass jar. Has a nice screw top, so it's really easy to get in and out of when I want to do a touch-up. Just makes it so much easier. And then all I do is I write the brand name, the color name, and the color number. And you also want to make sure that you write the name of the room that you use the color in, especially if you're using varying shades of one color throughout your house, like varying shades of gray or varying shades of white. You want to know exactly which room that color goes to. But anyway, that's enough about saving it. Let's talk about how we can get rid of it when we no longer want it and need it, to remove that clutter from our home. So if you have a good amount of paint left and it's still in usable condition, you can actually try donating it. You can take it to a church, a community organization, a high school theater department, or a community theater department. They're always looking for paint to be able to paint the sets and props and all of that stuff. So there's some really good options to actually still put the paint to use, even if you no longer need it and want it. Now, if you just want to trash it or it's no good anymore, you can actually throw latex paint in the trash. However, you can't throw it in the trash straight out. You actually have to take a couple steps first. So you can either get a paint hardener at the hardware store, which will help you to dry out the paint so you can throw it away, or you can mix equal parts cat litter and paint. You put it in a place where you can leave it open and it's safe, so there's no pets or kids that can get into it, and you just let it dry out. Once it's dried out, you can throw it in the trash, and that's it. Now, if you have a can that just has a teeny tiny little bit at the bottom, just pop the lid off. Again, set it in a safe place and then just let it air dry. It'll dry out on its own and you can throw it away. You never want to throw liquid paint directly into the trash because it can seep out of the container and then into the groundwater, which is no good. We do not want that to happen. Now, if you have oil-based paint, you have to take it to a community recycling center or one of those safe disposal events, because they will actually take it and properly dispose of it. You cannot throw out oil-based paint. Also, I actually still take my latex paint to those places because it's just so much easier. I don't want to deal with kitty litter and drying things out and all of that stuff. I'd rather take it somewhere where they can properly recycle it or dispose of it. Makes it so much easier. And you can find one of these places to drop off paint just by doing a simple Google search in your area. But that's it. Super easy, right? So on this Tussa Tuesday, go look in that closet or in your basement or even your garage and pull out that old paint, the stuff that you no longer need or no longer want to use. Take it to a place to donate it or to recycle it. Get that clutter out of your home. I hope that you enjoyed this video today and that you found it to be inspiring as well as educational. If you did, please do me a favor and click it, share it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.